Hello there, my name's Eric, and I'm here to talk about my third year doing what I call Amish April. Amish April 2015. To explain a little bit what it is and let anybody who's curious know why somebody would do something like this. I started this 2 years ago when I was living in Pennsylvania, and I was for the first time around a lot of Amish people that don't have any connection with electronics, and I started wondering to myself whether I would ever be able to do something like that. I realized how focused I'd gotten on so many things that I didn't even care about just a few years ago. You know, needing all the time to check my email, always having to have my phone with me, and realizing that these things were controlling me more than I was controlling them. So, 1 year, 2013 to be exact, as April was approaching, I decided, because it rolled off the tongue better as Amish April, Amish February, which is the time I thought of it, and because it was a good 30-day month, that I would, for an entire month, take away my electronics. Anything that could reasonably say had existed in the 21st century instead of the 20th century. So I made smartphones, emails, Facebook, all that sort of thing. And I just wasn't going to use it for 30 days. And I included in that too things like television, radio, except for at the time talk radio. I allowed myself to continue listening to that. And I said, you know what, even compact disc and MP3s, if music wasn't on a record, I wasn't going to listen to it. I was just going to shut down electronics, and I was going to see how I could do. And that first year, I lasted 10 days. So I could have made it, but I was too attached, I was too addicted, and I talked myself out of it the first time around. The second year, I made it for 30 days, but I cheated a lot. And I sort of taught myself, no, this isn't really cheating, I needed this, I needed that. This year, I have written up a series of procedures and bylaws to Amish April, and I have to wait. So, this is Amish April 2015. Section 1, Communications. Any amount of telecommunication is acceptable, within reason, in order to remain sociable and conduct business, provided that it is carried out on devices that simulate as closely as possible the tethered landline technology of the 20th century. Therefore, no smartphones or tablets are permissible. Use of a PC desktop is allowed for writing documents, but only when that PC is disconnected from all networking technology. Cell phones, i.e. those with raised buttons, are permissible, but only when plugged into a wall outlet or charger that is itself plugged into a wall outlet. Telephones of all types are permissible. Rotary phones are preferable. Fax machines are not permissible. Facebook, Twitter, instant messages, SMS texting, and other nonverbal electronic forms of instant communication are not permitted. That is, they cannot be sent. However, in recognition of the habits of other people, SMS texts may be received. Reading of such messages may occur at the top of the hour during a 5-minute window. If this window is missed, the next window must be waited for. SMS texts will then be returned with an actual phone call. Email communication is permitted once a day from a desktop computer. For the purposes of this month, messages are to be read but not responded to. The only exception to this rule are prearranged and ongoing meetings previous to April and continuing through the month that require both attention and preparation. I've started some big things this year that need me to respond to them. Again, preferably responding to them by phone, not through the email, but I've got to be able to read to them if I need to get reading those emails more than once a day in order to see what's going on with some of those meetings. I mean, that doesn't count as having, as it says in this clause, violated Amish April. I'm allowing for that. Mail and package communication may be engaged in freely. Hey, people did that in the 20th century. People did that long before the 20th century. I can do that. Section 2, entertainment. Internet, World Wide Web, and cloud application browsing, whether by desktop, laptop, tablet, or smartphone, is not permissible. Television may only be viewed on equipment manufactured prior to 1984. I don't own a 1984 TV, so it essentially is cutting television out for me. I go to a friend's house and they've got something in their basement. I guess that'll be a bridge if I come to it. But videotapes, laserdiscs, DVDs, Blu-ray, and streaming video may not be viewed unless it is on equipment invented prior to 1984. Like I said, again, I find something in a garage, but the odds are low there too. For 2015, radio is once again allowed. However, radio music is not allowed. And there's my son. I will get back to this. For 2015, radio is once again allowed. However, I cut myself off completely from radio in 2014. That's what this is saying to me. However, radio music is not allowed, and radio spoken word content must come from AM stations not normally listened to at other times of the year. So, if it's a station that I didn't listen to, earlier on, then I can listen to it. But I've got a couple of stations that I always listen to. I'm a huge fan of KFI AM 640 in Los Angeles. I can't listen to that for the next month. All non-broadcast music or spoken audio content is free for all, but the format must come from vinyl records or audio tapes. So, if I can find anything I want, as long as it's on record, I can listen to it. But if I don't already own it, I can't order it off Amazon. There's a lot of people that have vinyl copies of stuff that are coming out now. But if I haven't ordered it already, I'm out of luck there. Okay, section 3, exceptions. Number 1, LDS General Conference. I'm a Mormon. I watch General Conference, and that happens in April. I'll be watching that. Daniel, don't touch.
It's been around. Slowly.
Number 2, up to 4 trips to the movies.
Oh, slow there.
Am I going to have to start this over? Hey, buddy.
It's still slow. Oh, it's still slow.
Yeah, so swell.
Stop.
I know. I need to keep going. Up to 4 trips to the movies in a public theater will be allowed. Now, that may sound like it's like a cop-out or a cheat, but for one thing, it's up to 4. It doesn't mean I'm going to go to 4 trips to a public theater. And that's different than all these other things because it's connection. For one thing, movies have been around for 100 years, and it's a connection to the public in a way that a lot of this other stuff isn't anymore. So I think that's an important one. As noted above, there are some business as well as religious and volunteer prearranged meetings for April, most particularly business fundraising efforts. These require both attention and preparation and were in motion before April. Any use of any technology necessary to prepare for these meetings will not be considered a violation of Amish April this year. Now, having said that, last paragraph, I told you that I want to be careful about this. To be clear, however, use of any technology for business purposes must be of a one-and-done variety for that issue. If any cheating occurs, and this cheating will be judged, and here's how I know that this is going to be clear for me. Any cheating will be judged by the missus. So that's how I know this is going to be on the up and up. One day by the missus, and 1 day will be added into May for every day violated in April. This is a new rule for 2015. This is going to continue to be a yearly tradition for me. and I recommend it to anybody else who's watching this who might think of maybe doing something like this. That it kind of cleans you out and helps you get a new perspective on stuff. I will see all of you, or anybody watching this, I guess, in May. Oh, here's hoping I don't cheat, because I really want to see Age of Ultron.